So when we look at insulin, okay, I'm thinking of a few different studies here. This is usually they've like read one page out of a biochemistry book and closed it and said, nope, got all I need, which is insulin inhibits lipolysis and decreases fat oxidation. So lipolysis is the process of liberating stored body fat from adipose so that it can be available for fat oxidation. Insulin inhibits both those processes because when carbohydrate is high, you have to burn carbohydrate. This is part of the Randall cycle, and you're going to be preferably oxidizing carbohydrate and not dietary fat. When insulin is low, you're going to be not oxidizing a lot of dietary carbohydrate because it's not available. You'll be oxidizing a lot of dietary fat. So shouldn't that mean that low-carb diets cause more fat loss? And I just talked about how they didn't. Well, how is that possible? Because you're only looking at one side of the equation. So much like protein metabolism, the net gain or loss of lean mass is the balance between protein synthesis and degradation. So you have to have synthesis running at a greater rate, relative rate, than degradation to accumulate lean mass. Body fat loss or gain is the balance between the amount of fat you store versus the amount of fat you burn. So let's look at these different diets. On a high-carb, low-fat diet, you will not burn much fat, but you also don't store much fat because if we look at metabolic tracer studies where they give labeled carbohydrate and look at where that label lines up, less than 2% of dietary carbohydrate is stored in adipose tissue as body fat. Over 98% comes from fat. So if you were eating a low-fat, high-carb diet, you're not burning much fat, but you're also not storing much fat. If you're eating a low-carb, high-fat diet, you are burning a lot of fat, but you're also storing a lot of fat. What is going to determine the net deposition in either case will be energy balance, good old calories in versus calories out.